We are Blackmore. We are Arizona.
Well, just another beautiful day in Miami. Blue skies overhead, low humidity, but so far the Diamondbacks have made this series anything but a day at the beach for the Marlins. Gorgeous weather, so once again, a rare treat in this ballpark. The roof and panels are wide open for some outdoor baseball for you from South Florida here on Fox Sports Arizona. And good afternoon from Marlins Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. It's game 3 of a 4-game series. The Diamondbacks and the Miami Marlins. Chase Anderson gets the start tonight for the D-backs. And Bob, when you look at Chase's last 3 starts, you love the numbers. The only thing missing is a W.
A W and maybe some run support from his teammates. And his 7 starts leading up to tonight, he's left the ball game tied 4 times. Another time he was down, but they just haven't scored a lot of runs while Chase has been on the mound. So he's done his part in holding down the opposition.
A .98 ERA over his last 3 starts. He pitched over the weekend at Philadelphia, and he's on the mound tonight here at Marlins Park for the Diamondbacks. For Miami, they'll have former Yankee as their starting pitcher, David Phelps. He is now up against A.J. Pollock. They'll go head-to-head here tonight. They used to be teammates in college at Notre Dame.
I know Phelps did pretty well. He, let's see, I was a freshman. He's a sophomore. He was our guy at school. So he was the best pitcher we had, our Friday night guy. Good competitor, and he's thrown well this year, and we're gonna have to be on top of our game.
And Bob, AJ's right. He's come in from the bullpen and has done a good job as a starting pitcher this year.
Yeah, went into spring training basically trying to battle for a job and ends up finding himself in the rotation. He's been a lot better than his numbers indicate. He has yet to surrender a home run this season.
So the Diamondbacks tonight trying to make it 3 in a row over the Marlins. It is Anderson and Phelps, your starters. In the meantime, the Diamondbacks trying to piece together a back end of this bullpen, and so far so good. First pitch coming up from Marlins Park. By Cox Gigablast, how will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino, you're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box, try the new legendary Buttery Jack from Jack in the Box today.
And welcome back to Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona from Marlins Park. Jody Jackson with you. Well, the pitching for the Diamondbacks in the first 2 games of the series has been very, very good. It's been a battle of the bullpens. In fact, though, both starters have left the game each of the last 2 nights with the score tied at 2. Ruby De La Rosa went in 9. Of course, that one went into extras. And Jeremy Hellickson left after 6 last night. And so the bullpen came in and did the job. Now, for tonight, Chip Hale tells me the closer will be Brad Ziegler. Enrique Burgos not available because he has pitched 4 of the last 5 games. I also asked Chip, though, how difficult is it, or how challenging at least, is it to manage this bullpen without defined roles?
We'd like to get into a situation where we knew who was going to pitch 7, 8, 9. Everybody wants that, and we're just not there right now. And so we're just having to kind of keep them prepped every day and tell them, hey, you got to be ready from the 5th inning on. You got to be ready from the 1st inning on. You got to be ready in the 7th. So we have a number of guys that can pitch in different spots, just like our position players can play in different spots. So sometimes it's a really good thing to have, and sometimes it hurts you because the guys just don't know what their role is.
Well, and Chip Hale also talked about the fact that Addison Reed is still working on those mechanics. Hopefully he'll get things straightened out. He could close at some point. And then David Hernandez, who is on the comeback trail after Tommy John surgery, he'll have 2 outings in Mobile over the weekend and could rejoin the big club as soon as their next road trip. All right, stay tuned. First pitch coming your way next. The Diamondbacks look to get some offense going early in the game, a little bit different pattern than the first 2 games of this series. First pitch up next, Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly have the call for you from Marlins Park in Miami.
Live in Miami, the Marlins, they've lost 5 in a row, all on this current homestand. They've dropped, in fact, 12 of their last 16 games, now in last place in the National League East. Game 3 of 4 versus your Arizona Diamondbacks. And the D-backs come in here tonight looking to take the first 3 games in this 4-game set at Marlins Park before tomorrow afternoon's getaway day game here. That's a noon local start in Miami. And a win tonight would put Ender Inciarte and the D-backs back at 500 on the road this year. They are 8-9 away from Chase Field coming into this one.
It's really good to see the way the team has bounced back after getting swept in Philadelphia, and didn't look particularly good in doing it, but came in here to Miami and wiped the slate clean, and looking for their 3rd straight win against the Marlins tonight, and David Phelps on the mound.
28-year-old right-hander having a good first season with Miami. 2-0, the 2.68 ERA. Marlins acquired him from the Yankees in December. He came here with Martin Prado in the deal that sent pitcher Nathan Eovaldi to the Bronx. He has gone at least 6 full innings in each of his last 5 starts. Take a look at the lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. Mark Trumbo has the night off.
Yeah, Ender Inciarte will lead it off, play right field tonight. A.J. Pollock with the big homer last night. He'll be out in center. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. David Peralta in left field. Yasmani Tomas down at third. Aaron Hill playing second base tonight. Tuffy Gosewich doing the catching. Nick Ahmed over his last 6 games starting to pick it up. Good to see. And Chase Anderson, the right-hander, on the mound.
We are set to go. Bruce Dreckman is our plate umpire this evening. Martin Prado creeps in on the grass at third, and Ender Inciarte steps in to lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson, glad you're with us this afternoon on Fox Sports Arizona, and that's ball 1. We're underway. Ender batting just under .310 on the year. He had a pair of hits last night. He's got 3 hits in the series. There's a strike, 1-1.
Inciarte has taken to showing bunt at least once almost every at bat. Just show it, whether you're going to try to put it down for a base hit or not. Just plant that seed in the corner infielders' minds.
Phelps is ahead, 1-2 now. Ender has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. Phelps misses inside. It's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. A little more humid here tonight than it was last night. Not quite as breezy. Another beautiful night here in downtown Miami. Everything opened up. There's a called strike 3. Phelps rings up Inciarte to open up the ball game. Let's take a look at Miami around their right-hander. It's our mid-first bank starting defense for the Marlins.
Christian Yelich once again in left field. Marcelo Ozuna in center. Giancarlo Stanton over in right field. It'll be former Diamondback Martin Prado and Adeiny Echeverria at short. D. Gordon and Michael Morse on the right side of the infield. Jonathan Solano doing the catching for right-hander David Phelps.
Well, here's one of last night's heroes, A.J. Pollock. 285 and 4 homers on the year. Had, well, I guess the biggest hit in the ball game last night. That pinch hit homer in the 8th inning. Giancarlo Stanton can't get there, and A.J. drops it in front of the Marlins right fielder for a 1-out single.
Well, they were teammates at Notre Dame, but they're enemies here tonight. A.J. draws first blood with that little blooping single into right field.
Got a big grin on his face down there at first, the former Fighting Irish teammates. Brings up Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie batting .319, that's top 10 in the league. Tied for 3rd in RBIs. He's 4th in the National League in OPS. There's a strike. Goldie's been a little quiet lately here. 1 hit in the series so far. 3 for 20 on the road trip. That includes that towering home run Saturday in Philadelphia. Over the reach of Michael Morse at first. It's headed for the right field corner. Stanton cuts it off. Pollock is in at 3rd. Diamondbacks have runners on the corners. 1 out for David Peralta.
A couple of soft base hits into right field to get this one started for the Diamondbacks. Pitch is down and away. Goldie hits it right off the end of the bat over the head of Michael Morse, which is not easy to do. He's a big, tall guy down there at first base, but Goldie's single puts runners on the corners for David Peralta.
Hitting .266, 4 homers and 15 driven in. David walked and scored a run in last night's ball game. Chance to strike first for the Diamondbacks. Talked about that at the top of our broadcast. Trying to get some early runs here. Make Chase Anderson feel a little more comfortable out there. Oh, 0-2. David, of course, had a big hit Monday in the series opener here. That 2-out pinch hit RBI double in the 13th inning. That delivered the go-ahead run. Phelps misses inside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. He says he's trusting his stuff, making the opposing batters hit the ball. He's not generally a strikeout pitcher, David Phelps. And of course, pitching in this ballpark with its massive outfield, a whole different deal than pitching at Yankee Stadium. That's rolled foul right by Dave McKay at first. And Phelps has figured that out and sort of run with it here in Miami. He says pitching in this ballpark is all about staying over the plate, down in the zone, letting the opposing hitters put it in play. He's got a big outfield, got good defenders behind him. His first 2 appearances this year were out of the bullpen. He was then moved into the rotation middle of last month when Henderson Alvarez went on the DL, and he has remained a starter here. He's done a good job. 2-2 now.
That has to be a relief for a right-handed pitcher facing left-handed pull hitters. Pitching half your games in this ballpark as opposed to Yankee Stadium, where it's, you know, about 270 feet, regardless of what the fence says, down that right field line.
Pop up to second base, will carry out for a homer. This ballpark, it's an outfield the size of Nebraska out there. It's enormous. So you can do pretty well in this ballpark as a fly ball pitcher. There goes Goldie. Morse knocks it down. This is going to score a run as AJ comes in from third, and the Diamondbacks have a quick 1-0 lead. They stay out of the double play there, and they get a run home.
That's exactly why Goldie was running, to stay out of a potential double play. And when Morse has to leave his feet to make the play, it's an easy score for A.J. Pollock, putting the D-backs ahead early.
And Goldie in scoring position with 2 outs for the red-hot Yasmani Tomas. On an absolute tear right now, up to 342 for the season. A homer, 11 RBIs. And as he steps into the box right here, Tomas, 10 hits in his last 18 at-bats, including 2 doubles and a homer.
We talked about it last night. Tomas starting to pull the ball more often when he gets those off-speed deliveries up in the zone, which I think is a good thing. It prevents teams from overplaying him actually to the opposite field.
4 straight multi-hit games for Yasmani. He was on base 3 more times last night. 2 hits and a walk, including another double. Looks at a strike, and it's 1-2. Tomas had 3 hits here in Monday's series opener. He didn't like that strike call there, and it's good to see him kind of hit the reset button in this at-bat. Take a moment, get back in there. A ball and 2 strikes now. Goldie at second. And now Solano and Phelps have to get together. We've seen JT Realmuto, the catcher, in the first 2 games of this series, and it's the backup Solano out there tonight. One and 2. Kicks away from Solano. Goldschmidt moves up to third.
Now Phelps goes to the breaking ball, trying to get Tomas to fish for something down low out of the strike zone, and Solano in pretty good position to block that ball. Just hit a bad body part and ricochets over to the third base side, allowing Goldie to move up. How about one more of those?
Off the middle, off the bare hand of Phelps. Echeverria picks it up, though, and throws him out. We'll check on David Phelps during the break here. Diamondbacks get a run. Chin-ups for Chase. He's got 1 run so far. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Now it's 27-year-old right-hander Chase Anderson. Hard to be winless in 7 starts while pitching to a 2.81 ERA, but that's the position in which Chase finds himself here tonight. He's been outstanding lately, better and better each time out, and now it's finally time, Bob, to get that first win.
Well, you certainly hope so. Chase, as we've talked about already tonight, has just not received much support this year. Only 10 runs of support when he's been in the ball game. That's the fewest among nationally qualified starters, trailing only Dylan G.
Of the Mets, D. Gordon trying to bunt for a base hit. Tomas comes well in and makes a nice bare hand play to throw out the Major League's leading hitter, the speedy D. Gordon. Yasmani Tomas at third. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Starting to look like a natural down there at third base. You can see he's playing way in anyway with D. Gordon at the plate. Nice one-handed scoop and a strong throw on the move to Goldie for the out.
Can't make that play any better than that. Dan Jennings has tweaked his lineup a bit here. His 3rd game as the Marlins manager after he was introduced as Mike Redmond's replacement on Monday. So Marcell Ozuna, the center fielder, in the 2-hole tonight. Prado bats cleanup. And Ozuna in there, 272 and 3 homers. He did not go. Tom Helling, the crew chief, says it first. So 1-1 to Ozuna. 0 for 2 with a walk in last night's ball game. He did not play in Monday's series opener.
Well, the new toy for Chase Anderson this year is that 2-seam fastball. Throwing it a lot more often, especially when he keeps it down in the zone. A very effective ground ball pitch for him. Yeah, before he was just a 4-seam changeup curveball guy, but that 2-seamer he's incorporated more and more with each successive start.
And hoping to continue a run of very good starting pitching in this series so far for the Diamondbacks. Giancarlo looms on deck. 3-2 to Ozuna. I had Ruby De La Rosa brilliant Monday. Jeremy Hellickson had his best start of the season here last night. The lineup for Dan Jennings, Miami Marlins.
D. Gordon at second, Marcell Ozuna in center, Giancarlo Stanton out in right field, Martin Prado at third base. Another ball fouled out of play. Christian Yelich out in left field. Michael Morse, the big guy, at first base. Adeiny Echeverria at shortstop. Jonathan Solano doing the catching today. And David Phelps, the right-hander, on the mound.
In the air, right field, an easy play for Ender Inciarte. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes the big man. Giancarlo Stanton. 243 this year, now tied for 3rd in the major leagues in home runs. Tied for the lead in the majors in RBIs. He has homered 5 times in his last 7 games. He hit one here last night over the Clevelander in left field. His only hit of the series so far. Diamondbacks put the shift on. 3 infielders on the left-hand side. Here you see Goldie all by himself, midway between first and second. This is coming at you, BB.
Going to be a little short. Little short.
This was Giancarlo last night. Yahtzee over the Clevelander. Keep in mind they also had this shift on for Stanton last night, and he lined it right to Goldie, just about where he's standing right now. This is in the air. Another easy play for Inciarte. And how about Chase Anderson? A nice toddy 12 pitch 1-2-3 first. He's got a 1-0 lead in Miami. Weekend Sunday at Chase Field, the 24th Diamondbacks and Cubs Memorial Day weekend, and what better way to spend it than with us at Chase Field for a D-backs game. First 20,000 fans on Sunday get this D-backs fedora, courtesy of Gila River Casinos. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. I know the governor, Greg Schulte and Leo Gilmartin, BB, very excited about the fedora.
Oh, they're hipsters.
Yeah, they can pull that look off.
Figures.
Aaron Hill leads off the second against David Phelps. 1-0 Diamondbacks.
That fedora looks great with a leisure suit.
The gubble. I mean, we have to change the wardrobe. Look great on those cruise ships. 272 and 3 homers for Aaron. Getting the start at second base. There's sort of a fedora. It's a good looking hat right there. Diamondbacks hat looks like that a little bit. Apparently just took a selfie and likes the way it came out. Phelps, 3 pitches, 3 balls in this inning. Hill, Gozuish, Ahmed, 6, 7, and 8. David Peralta, an RBI ground out in the first for the only run of the game so far. 4-pitch walk to Aaron Hill opens up the second.
Ties the O-Dog Orlando Hudson for most games at second base for the Diamondbacks all time.
One away from 400. And here's Tuffy Gozuish, really swinging the bat pretty well as of late. Got a pair of hits in the series. He's hit safely in 3 straight in 6 of his last 7 games. And suddenly, David Phelps cannot throw a strike. 5 straight balls to open up the inning.
Seen a lot of David Phelps, but his body language would not suggest that he feels like he's on top of his game tonight.
Well, he admits that he can get pretty animated out there. He's got a little Jake Peavy in him, and he says he's not one of those guys that keeps his emotions hidden very well on the mound. Aaron Hill gets a tremendous jump and just takes second base. No one paying attention over there at first, and Aaron is in there with his 2nd stolen base this year.
We've seen Diamondbacks runners do this on several occasions. Just take off while the guy is standing there stationary on the mound, and more often than not the pitcher goes ahead and delivers the ball to home plate anyway.
And oftentimes, Bob, we've seen the Diamondback hitter either not see it or get a pitch he likes too much not to swing. Good take there by Tuffy to let Aaron take that bag.
And now Tuffy should be trying to work that ball to the right side of the field if at all possible. Move Aaron Hill up to third base with less than 2 outs in the inning.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Takes a shot that way, just a little bit late, fouls it harmlessly off to the right side.
This inning really not going well for David Phelps. And as we were saying, he says you will know if he's mad at himself out there. Gets a little riled up.
He's been much better on the road. 4 starts on the road, a perfect 2-0 record, ERA of 1.5. ERA at home nearly 5.
Well, he was a guy that really loved being a Yankee. That was a big deal for him. This is bounced to second. Nice. Sure enough, Tuffy gets it to the right side and moves Aaron Hill along. He's at third with 1 out. Hey, now Nick Ahmed can bunt again.
Don't be surprised.
This was Nick last night. One of the plays of the game saw Martin Prado playing too far back and had a bunt single hit for an RBI.
Right, just perfectly placed. Just trickled down that third base line, almost died before Prado could get to it. Had no play.
And Nick said he knew the coaches had the runner, Yasmani Tomas, prepared for a bunt in that spot. And he said he saw Prado playing behind the bag at third. Good way to drive him in. Big run in the game, no doubt. And the infield comes in again. There's ball 1. And now Nick is just over 180 for the year. And he's hit safely in 5 straight games. 7 hits in his last 5 games, including a pair of base hits last night. Just a gorgeous drag bunt. There's a strike, 1-1.
Bruce Dreckman has a very mobile strike zone already tonight.
Well, what are we, mid-second inning? That is by a diving Prado. Nick Ahmed drives home another run from third, and he's heading for second base. An RBI double for Nick Ahmed, his 2nd this year, and it's 2-0 D-backs.
Well, you could say that base hit right there is a direct byproduct of that bunt last night. Of course, everybody was playing in, but especially Martin Prado at third base, and because he was so shallow, he had no time to react to his right as Nick drives this one down into the left field corner.
He's now got a 6-game hitting streak, Nick Ahmed.
Yeah, Prado's playing another step or 2 deeper. He makes a play on that ball, but because he was drawn in and had been bunted on the night before, he was in no position to make the play right there.
Chase Anderson takes a big cut. Want to give half that RBI to Tuffy Gozawish?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Can we do that?
We can do anything we want.
Very controlled. 0-2. Really was a good job by Tuffy not to swing at that pitch when he saw Aaron Hill get that terrific jump, and it made a big difference. Phelps laboring here through his first 2 innings. A run in the first and now 1 in the second.
You think about how unselfish that Tuffy Gosowich at bat was. He took the pitch, as you mentioned, when he saw Aaron Hill had the big jump, and then gave himself up hitting that ground ball to the right side.
There goes Ahmed, and he is in there at third. Diamondbacks have the foot on the gas pedal here tonight. Nick Ahmed, his first stolen base this year. And Jennings, he's going to check every close play, apparently, as the manager. Looks like Nick got his hand in there before Prado could get the tag down. Close. Yeah, but he's in there.
Slides to the very far side of the bag right there, forcing Prado to drag it back an extra foot, and it looked like he got his hand in under the tag.
Wave off the replay. His first career stolen base, in fact, Nick Ahmed. And he's at third with 1 out. Bounced up the middle. This is going to get a run home off the bare hand of Phelps. It's an RBI ground out for Chase Anderson, and a 3-0 Diamondbacks lead. That's the second time in the ball game already. Phelps has reached out with that bare pitching hand and deflected a line drive back to shortstop. Both times they got the out, but that time it's a run.
Sometimes all you need your pitcher to do is put the ball in play. Little grounder right back up the middle, deflected to the shortstop Echeverria, who makes a pretty nice play from the seat of his pants. But in the meantime, Nick Ahmed trots home with the third run of the game for the D-backs.
Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach out there. You can see that just in Phelps's eyes, this is not going his way, and he knows it. And now with the bases empty and 2 outs, it's the leadoff man, Ender Inciarte. It's hot down there. It's getting even, it seems like even more humid than it was last night. So Chase working up a pretty good sweat down there. Ender struck out looking his first time, 0 for 1. Prado went on the grass at third, and that's strike 1. Mentioned that Phelps really liked being a Yankee, loves New York City. Was not exactly thrilled when he was traded here, but he's been given an opportunity. Tonight, though, he's down 3-0. Diamondbacks get 1 in the first, 2 more in the second. More chin-ups for Chase. He's got a 3-0 lead. Are feeling good. They're pitching confidently, and they're pitching like good things are going to happen. That's what the coaches are looking for, and that's what Chase Anderson has going so far here tonight. A 3-0 lead. He worked a 1-2-3 first, and now Martin Prado leads off the Miami second. The former Diamondback just under 270 on the year and 2 homers. Prado 1 for 4 with a single and a strikeout last night. He's got 2 hits in the series, and Anderson jumps ahead 0-2. Say cheese. This is another guy, Martin Prado, who came down here with Phelps in that trade for Eovaldi. And Martin said he was shocked when he was traded to Miami from the Yankees last December. Prado said a great experience being in New York for that half season last year. Got to play alongside Derek Jeter during Jeter's final season. Right to Tomas. Boy, he is having a series. 4 up, 4 down so far for Chase Anderson. Take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively around Chase Anderson. Our mid-first bank starting defense.
David Peralta left, A.J. Pollock in center. Ender Inciarte over in right field. It'll be Tomas, Ahmed, Hill, and Goldschmidt third to first across the infield, with Tuffy Goswish doing the catching for Chase Anderson.
In the 5 spot tonight for Dan Jennings, the left fielder Christian Yelich. With Chase Anderson out there just firing fastballs and strikes and maintaining, we talked about this with Jeremy Hellickson last night, a very good pace out there.
And throwing a lot of fastballs in the early going. Only 1 straight changeup so far, no curveballs.
4 of 5, strike 1 so far. This is Yelich, a budding star player, only 23 years old. He's been a top of the order guy, was all last year, but he's been out for a while with a herniated disc in his back, and the offense just hasn't started yet for him this season. But he's up in the 5 spot tonight and ahead 3 balls and 1 strike.
Well, he can get as hot as he would like come Friday.
That's right. Full count, 3-2. Yelich has a pair of hits in this series. He doubled in Monday's opener. Still trying to come back from that back injury. Kept him out for 16 games. Big Michael Morse, who's had a slow start himself, will be next. Yeah, Yelich was out for a while. Just came off the DL on May the 8th and trying to get it going here. Doesn't get the call there from Bruce Breckman, and the Marlins have their first base runner, a 1-out walk. Well, this is a big night tonight, BB, for those of us that grew up watching the old Late Night with David Letterman show on NBC. The CBS show was great too, but I thought you did a nice job here. Your Valley Honda Keys to the Game, a Letterman theme.
Yeah, you got to avoid the Albert Achievement Awards. We know those are always a blooper highlight reel. We definitely want to avoid that. And Larry Bud Melman, I'm not quite sure what to say about him.
The late Calvert DeForest, the great actor who played Larry Bud Melman on the David Letterman show for so long. Double play ball here. Ahmed, Hill, Goldie, and an easy double play ball. They turn 2 behind Chase Anderson, and he erases that 1-out walk. Well, we wish Dave all the best tonight at his final show. Stay wild and wacky.
feeling did not work. I mean, he had just made great pitches, got Goldschmidt out, who, you know, Goldschmidt's a tremendous hitter, and thought about it. You know, Dunner is not a matchup guy. Dunner's an attack guy, either side of the plate, and, you know, that was on me.
Goldschmidt, good player. Dan Jennings, the Marlins GM and new manager, well, he really made a mistake. There's no other way to put it, by sticking with lefty Mike Dunn in that at bat against A.J. Pollock last night in the 8th inning. And it turned out to be a big one, as A.J. had the big pinch hit 2-run homer. That turned out to be the game winner. Single and scored his first time. Sorry, Bob.
I find it interesting. He says Dunner, as he put it, is not a matchup guy, although lefties are only hitting 214, righties hitting 321.
Well, the part was there, he had a righty up earlier in the ballgame, and Chip Hale said the Diamondbacks coaches were watching the Marlins bullpen very carefully. They saw there was no righty up for Miami, sat him back down. And that was Morris, who eventually did get in the ballgame. But when they saw there was no righty up, well, then that was the only way Chip was going to use A.J. to hit for David Peralta in that spot. The spot came up, no right-hander warming up in the Marlins bullpen, so Chip knew he would get the matchup with Pollock batting against a left-hander in a tie game 8th inning, and then boom, first pitch gone. And you heard, I mean, Dan Jennings, to his credit, you know, stood up, stand-up guy last night. And he's the splits. I mean, the numbers, I mean, you just gave one good number right there. Here's another one. He's hitting almost 400 against lefties. What are you doing? He said, that one's on me. This one's coming at you.
Closer. We're getting closer.
We're up pretty high here. 2-2. Been a labor so far for David Phelps, the Marlins right-hander. Roof and panels open. Another beautiful night here. A little more humid, though, as we've mentioned, than last night. So starting to get a little sticky here. Not much of a breeze. 3-2 now. See the Miami skyline through there. A.J. hits a fly ball to deep center field. Marcell Ozuna way out there on the warning track, and he's got it for the first outs. Doesn't look like much on TV, but he hit that ball pretty far.
A long way. That's out of a lot of ballparks.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, here's Goldschmidt. What did he call him? Goldie singled his first time. I asked you this last night, Bob. Look, it's one of the hardest jobs in sports, managing a baseball team. You know that, certainly. But that one seemed like kind of an easy one. They're all easy from up here, but
yeah,
you could see that one coming.
You know, the game tends to move a lot faster when you're actually down there in the dugout and you're the guy making the decisions. But it seemed very elementary. You know, in the 8th inning of a tie ball game, you should have a righty and a lefty ready to go at a second's notice to play the matchups. He had another lefty available. He had 4 right-handed pitchers available down there in the bullpen. As you said, Morris had been up earlier in the game, possibly could have come into the ball game on short notice, but that's something you learn very quickly. You have to look an inning, sometimes 2 or 3 innings ahead in the use of that bullpen.
The ironic thing was there that Morris got into the game 2 batters after Pollock homered. So a little more foresight might have helped Dan Jennings last night. But it's a learning process. A guy that has never managed at any level professionally, ever. He's been a scout. He's been a front office guy, a lifelong baseball guy. But this is something new and different. 3-2 to Goldie. Phelps now at 50 pitches, 30 strikes. Ball 4. Second walk issued by David Phelps. And a 1-out base runner for David Peralta. Yeah, Chuck Hernandez is going to get on the phone now. Phelps just is not sharp tonight.
He just looks like he doesn't want to be out there. I mean, granted, he's been spraying it around pretty good. That's his second walk of the ball game. He's already behind 3-0. This is where you'd like to see a guy, in the words of my former manager Roger Craig, bow his neck. You know, realize I don't have my best stuff tonight, but I'm going to give my team 5 or 6 or 7 innings anyway. Phelps looks like he wants out of this one in the worst way.
David Peralta drove in a run in the first with an RBI ground out. Nothing doing on the pitch out.
That's what all those stolen bases in the first 2 innings will do for you.
Marlins bullpen will get busy. Brad Hand starts warming up, the left-hander. Well, this is Phelps' 9th appearance of the year, his 7th start. Previous start last Friday here against Atlanta. Struck out 8 and did not walk a batter. He's already walked 2 here tonight. And pitched all right. 1 earned run, 9 hits, 6 innings. He beat the Giants in San Francisco in a start before that. A run on 6 hits and 6. His best effort this year, a win at Philadelphia. That was April 23rd. 7 scoreless innings of 3 hit ball against the Phillies. So he's been pretty good this year. The ERA coming in 2.68 on the year in 8 appearances. 1-0 to Peralta. Roller to second. Gordon, Echeverria, and Morse. Nope, they can't turn 2. Peralta beats it out.
Long backhanded flip that time from D. Gordon to Echeverria. Just could not get much on it. Smothered that ball to the right side of the infield. Just put your head down and run hard, David.
He always does. Wasn't hit super hard to Gordon either. So now Peralta's at first. 2 down for Yasmani Tomas, who grounded out his first time. Boy, I mean, this is... He's just out of it. I don't know another way to put it.
Not on the same page with his catcher. Bad body lingo out there. Real bad body lingo. Like I said, I haven't seen a lot of David Phelps, just looking at the numbers and talking about some guys, his history at the major league level, and talking to the broadcasters for the Marlins. But this is not what I was expecting to see from David Phelps.
This is his 4th big league season, 3 with the Yankees, and now he's here as a Marlin. And he has always been one of those guys that pitches, you know, half a season in the bullpen, the other half of the season in the rotation. He shuffles back and forth, 5th starter, long reliever, that kind of guy. And every year he, you know, gives up roughly the same number of hits as innings pitched. This one is smothered by Gordon, but he's got no play. It's another base hit for Yasmani Tomas, and Peralta's back in time at second. Diamondbacks will have 2 on and 2 out for Aaron Hill.
Boy, a lot of second basemen would give up on that ball and just let it roll through into right field. But D. Gordon continued after the ball. Ends up having no play at first base, but very heads up to look at second and see if perhaps David Peralta rounded the bag too far. But the runaway train, even though he slipped, able to get back to the bag.
So another hit for Yasmani Tomas. 2 on, 2 out for Aaron Hill now. Aaron walked and scored and stole a base his first time up. So Tomas now 11 for his last 20. That's pretty good. Nathan Kay can speak to him in Spanish down there. One and one. Good pitch there, gets the strike call. 1 and 2. Phelps, and Phelps wasn't thrilled when he was traded from the Yankees. But, you know, then he got here and kind of looked at the situation. You know, there's talent here, a lot of it young talent. He realized, you know, maybe Miami's a good spot for him. I mean, in New York, he was constantly fighting to keep a rotation spot as that 5th starter. In and out of the bullpen, long relief all the time. But here he started out in the bullpen too, quickly went to the rotation. They lost Henderson Alvarez just a couple of weeks into the season. Phelps came into the rotation and has pitched well enough to stay. He and Solano just cannot get together.
It looks like Solano, maybe they've changed it just now, but he was just going first sign. So like he would hang down a 3 and then go 1 in, 1 away, 1 in, 1 away, 1 in, 1 away. Well, it doesn't take long to stand there and peer in at those signs and say, well, geez, they're going first pitch every at bat. It's the first time Solano has been behind the plate for David Phelps this season. Certainly that could explain a lot of it, but
I was going to say, how can you tell?
Yeah, these are the kind of things that usually you have your advanced meeting before the game and then sit down with your catcher and the pitching coach and talk about what signs you're going to use, talk about how you want to attack certain hitters in the lineup. It's like these two have never met before.
Well, Phelps, it's not like he's, you know, Despaigne out there. He's got 9 pitches. He's got 4-seam fastball, low 90s, very average fastball. Not really a strikeout pitch for him. He's got a cutter that's okay, a changeup that's got some sink to it, and a nice 12-6 vertical curveball. And that's pretty much it.
He just hasn't been able to command anything other than the fastball.
Yes, he went, says Tom Hallion at first, and Aaron Hill strikes out. And Phelps strands 2. Diamondbacks, though, lead it 3-0. Player of the game. Well, Bob, Tuffy goes to wish defensively, always good.
Yeah, he does so many things well, and this year he's thrown out 33% of the runners attempting to steal, including the last 2 nights here. And you'll notice on this one, Tuffy gets rid of it quickly. Aaron Hill keeps the tag on Ichiro. The safe call, but upon appeal, he was ruled out as he came off the bag, and then once again last night, Nick Ahmed holds the tag on Danny Echeverria, and they get the call at second base when he comes off the bag. It's a group effort to get a guy stolen at second base, trying to steal at second base, rather. Obviously, you need a catcher that can make strong, accurate throws quickly. You need a pitcher to unload the ball quickly to home plate, and you need that middle infielder to put that tag on the runner, and as we saw the last 2 nights, keep it on the runner.
And Echeverria leads off the Marlins' third against Chase Anderson, 3-0-2 on the year. And that play that Nick Ahmed made, we just showed you last night, that was one of the biggest plays of the game, because Echeverria there trying to steal second, 2-2 ball game, 7th inning. Overslid the bag, and Nick said afterwards, since replay has been instituted, that's just something the infielders have been taught to do. They're coached to do that. Keep the tag on, keep that glove down there, because, as Nick said, a lot of guys are sliding past the base. He did not go, says Tom Helling. And that's just what he did. And Nick said, you know, they know a lot of times you're not going to have a play right away. But if you keep that tag down there, sure enough, he's going to just go past that bag, come off it just a little bit. And if the tag is, glove is still down there, the tag is made and he's out. Swinging bunt here. And a nice play by Chase Anderson to throw him out. How about that? Chase Anderson fielding his position. More good Diamondback defense.
How about that? That was not an easy play. A little swinging bunt down the third base side. Chase was off that mound in a shot. Bare-handed pickup and then a strong throw on to first. He had to do all of that. Get off the mound quickly, pick it up cleanly, and throw it hard down to Goldie at first base in order to get the out. Oh, that good feeling is contagious.
Jonathan Solano, the catcher. First pitch swinging back here. One more look at that Nick Ahmed play just to sort of close that out. Watch him keep the glove down as Echeverria overslides the bag. See, he's in there, comes off the bag, glove there the whole time, and he's out.
And as we've seen over the last few years, not very many guys are good sliders.
Right to Tomas, a perfect throw to Goldie. 2 up, 2 down. He's got a good arm down there, Yasmani Tomas. We talk all the time about his defense, and he certainly looks more comfortable down there, but the throwing arm has never been an issue.
And I don't think we've seen the top end of his throwing arm yet. I mean, most of the plays have been fairly routine for Tomas down there at third when he's had to throw across the diamond. One of these days we're going to get one down the line, and he's going to have to plant that right foot and get up on top and really fire the ball.
Chase fires a strike in there to his opposite number, David Phelps. 1 for 11 on the year, the Marlins starting pitcher. Little dribbler to second base. Aaron Hill comes in. And it's a nice 1-2-3 inning for Chase Anderson, who leads at 3-0. Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers. Lots of good scenery around here, that's for sure. And a beautiful week. We got great weather here in Miami. And so far, great Diamondback baseball. They've won the first 2 games of this 4-game set. They lead game 3, 3-0. As we start the 4th inning, Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you from South Beach. Does this count as South Beach? It's so big around here.
I don't even know what direction south is, to tell you the truth.
Get you a compass.
I know there's water to the east.
How about this? So far through 3 full innings, Chase Anderson has faced the minimum, 9 batters. David Phelps through 3 innings has faced 15 batters. And the Diamondbacks have a 3-0 lead. Chase will hit third in this inning, lower third of the Diamondback order in the 4th here. Goes to wish Ahmed Anderson. Diamondbacks looking to take the first 3 games in this 4-game set before tomorrow afternoon's getaway day game. That's a noon local start here in Miami, 9 a.m. for you back home in Arizona. Radio only tomorrow. Ball 1. Tuffy grounded out his first time, 0 for 1. Chopped to third, slow roller, and Prado can't pick it up. Rosa wishes aboard to lead off the 4th. And in every inning so far, either the first or second D-back hitter in that inning has reached base. E5 is the ruling. Error on Martin Prado at third, and that puts Gozawish at first for Nick Ahmed. Strike 1.
Yeah, Tuffy pounded that ground ball right down into the chalk of that right-handed batter's box. Threw up a big cloud of dust as the ball came off the bat. Prado probably had a lot more time than he realized there, but tried to scoop and throw all in one motion and couldn't come up with it cleanly.
So once more, Phelps is in the stretch here with traffic on the bases around him. That's in the seats. Nick Ahmed down 0-2. Nick had an RBI double and stole a base. Scored a run his first time up. And the bat's starting to come around now. He's hit safely in 6 straight games. He looks like he's lowered his hands again. Well, they've been working a lot. Turner Ward and Mark Grace with Nick Ahmed. Tony La Russa, in fact, mentioned that over the weekend in Philadelphia. And we've seen Nick's hands start, you know, last year they were way up high, then they got really low, and then they were kind of in the middle. Looks like they're kind of creeping down now. Holy cow. A liner headed toward the gap in right center field, and Gordon snared it for the out.
He had a lot of traffic to deal with there. The umpire was in front of him. The pitcher kind of behind the ball as he made his dive for that line drive. Kept his eye on it the whole way, way off the ground when he made that catch. Knock it off.
1 out now for Chase. Morse holding Tuffy at first. Prado creeping in at third. And he looks at strike 1. You don't want that to be a little momentum changer. It's arguably the first thing that's gone David Phelps' way here tonight. Taking a base hit away from Ahmed there. Shows bunt, can't quite get it down. Both corners charging in, and Chase is behind, no balls and 2 strikes.
Boy, this is an area moving forward that all the Diamondback starting pitchers have to get better at. Putting down sacrifice bunts. Only 4 sacked bunts from the pitching staff all season long. Ruby De La Rosa has a couple. Josh Colmenter has 1, and Chase Anderson has 1.
Remember, the guy that was their best bunter all last year was Vidal Nuño.
Yeah.
Called strike 3. Drops a breaking ball in there for his 3rd strikeout.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Ender Inciarte 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Tuffy goes to wish the runner at first. 2 outs. First pitch swinging, high fly ball to center field. Marcell Ozuna. And Phelps works around that leadoff error. Diamondbacks have a 3-0 lead in Miami.
Trying to do. It doesn't look like he loses his balance too much. Just all the things that the hitters are trying to do. So even times, he maybe gets out, it looks like he's pretty balanced up at the plate and not too fooled. But it's just part of the game. But if you make a mistake, he makes you pay. I think that's what we're all trying to do as hitters. We hit mistakes, and he's one of the best at doing that.
Stanton due up third this inning, and I observed earlier today while the Marlins were taking BP, and particularly Stanton, that Paul Goldschmidt, Mark Trumbo, and Cliff Pennington were out watching him take BP and kind of studying, as Trumbo said, kind of the trends, what he does. He said, we know he hits it a long way, but I asked Goldie, what did you see when you were able to take a closer look at him in batting practice? And that was his answer. And obviously he talked about the balance, and that's something that certainly generates that power too, guys.
Oh, it's a show. There's no doubt, Jody. Gordon leads off. The corners come in. There's a 502 sign out there in center field. There it is, 502 feet. And no kidding, during batting practice, he hit 2 balls in a row. This just 2 rows in front of that 502 sign out there. Bang, bang.
A little reminiscent of back in the day when Mark McGwire was slugging all the home runs, and that used to be must-see batting practice. The other team would always come out and sit in the dugout while Big Mac was taking his batting practice. Everybody but the pitchers. He didn't want them to watch.
Exactly. 2-1 to Gordon. Drops one down. Chase Anderson pounces on it and makes another tremendous defensive play. Chase Anderson really fielding his position well tonight. That's the second terrific play that he's made, pouncing off that pitcher's mound.
That's the fastest guy on this Marlins roster. What a nice play.
And so far tonight, Gordon, the Major League's leading hitter, 0 for 2.
No hesitation on the part of Chase Anderson whatsoever. A lot of pitchers would stay on the dirt part of the mound and say, you got plenty of room, Yasmani, go get it. But Chase Anderson, once he lets that ball go, he becomes a defender.
And you can't hesitate for a moment there when you're trying to throw out Gordon. Marcell Ozuna flying out his first time. So Gordon so far, Big League's leading hitters, only got 1 hit in the series. That was a single last night. He was 0 for 5, couple of strikeouts Monday, 0 for 2 so far in this one. Chase is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes right here. With Stanton on deck. You want to be careful with Ozuna. Don't overlook him. He's got real raw power to all fields. Can pull the ball out of here to left. More than a quarter of his home runs last year went to the opposite field, so he can take you deep to right and right center. In fact, former manager Mike Redmond was here. He had an interesting comp on Marcell Ozuna. Andrew Jones. Vlad Guerrero is the guy you usually hear with Marcell Ozuna, but Andrew Jones, a big guy who can run, athletic, with big power. Similar to Marcell Ozuna. Grounds out to Ahmed. 2 down. Here comes Giancarlo.
And this is absolutely the way you like to face Giancarlo Stanton. Nobody on base in front of him.
Chase Anderson. He's faced the minimum so far. Does have 1 walk, had a double play behind him. Stanton flied out his first time. Shift is on. 3 infielders on the left-hand side once again, and Goldie, the only man on the right side of the infield, halfway between first and second. How about this? Stanton, this is kind of scary to think about. He's got 12 homers. He didn't hit his first home run this year until April 16th. That was at Citi Field in New York. So all of his 12 home runs this year have come in the last 30 games. And in that span, he's got 31 RBIs. And Chase Anderson gets him to chase that one. First strikeout for Chase, who has faced the minimum through 4. He's got a 3-0 lead, and he punches out Giancarlo to end the 4th. May 23rd. It's outdoor recreation night. You can try your hand at fishing, shooting a bow and arrow, and a whole lot more. Plus, if you buy a special event ticket package, and only if you buy the special event ticket package, you'll get this awesome D-backs camo hunting hat. It's got ear flaps. It's got the Elmer Fudd ear flaps on it. It's a cool camo color. It's got a little fur lining on the ear flap. I mean, this is a hot item right now. You can get your tickets at dbacks.com/events. Remember, you got to buy the special event ticket package to get the hat. D-backs Nation on the road here with us in Marlins Park as we start the 5th. A.J. Pollock leads it off against David Phelps. 3-0 Diamondbacks. Peralta an RBI ground out in the first. Ahmed had an RBI double in the second. And Chase Anderson had an RBI ground out. So far through 4, Chase Anderson has faced the minimum. He has walked 1. He struck out 1. That one missed someplace apparently. 2-1. A.J. Singleton scored in the first. Flied out his last time up. These are 2 former teammates from South Bend. A.J. Pollock and David Phelps. AJ started out at Notre Dame as a third baseman. And Phelps was the Friday night starter, which is always the big deal with any college team. Who's your Friday night starter? He was the ace for the Irish. They were only 1 year apart in college, and now here they are. And so far, AJ has got a single and a walk against him. Third walk issued by Phelps. Here's Goldie. Goldschmidt, as Dan Jennings called him.
He'll learn the name.
Yeah, well, you think. It's a personnel guy, right? Diamondbacks have been uber aggressive on the bases tonight. We'll see how they play this with AJ on first to lead it off. They have had in all 5 innings so far either the first or second batter in the inning reach base. Got stolen bases from Aaron Hill and Nick Ahmed so far tonight.
Most 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the major leagues don't like the runner dancing around and working for a maximum lead while they're taking their at bat. I don't think Goldie's as bothered by it as some other middle of the lineup hitters are. I mean, we've seen Chip Hale put the hit and run on with Goldie at the plate.
Not much seems to bother him. Boy, throw that one again.
Yeah, probably bothered him. He swung right through that 90-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, but I dare you to do it again.
Yeah.
Fastball up.
Up is the operative word there. 1-2. Gorgeous night in Miami. Roof and panels open. A big deal here in this ballpark. They don't often get the chance to do this, but they're having a very nice weather here this week. High chopper. Prado will come in from third. And he just does get Goldie at first as AJ moves up. That's the first out in the 5th. David Peralta now.
I'll see how the defense aligns behind Phelps here with David Peralta at the plate. We saw Nick Ahmed steal third base a couple of innings ago. And with the left-handed pull hitter at the plate, Echeverria is shaded right behind AJ at second base. Going to be tough to get a big enough lead to try to steal third base.
Phelps 80 pitches, 50 strikes, and they'll keep AJ close. Almost threw it into center field. A terrific play there by Echeverria.
Really good play by Echeverria. Body moving one direction, had to slam on the brakes and dive back to his right to keep that ball out of center field.
Plus, he's got A.J. Pollock diving back into his feet on that one. Big cut there by David. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Slider, maybe a cutter at 87. Pretty hard for a slider, but had that same kind of movement.
Just missed inside. Peralta back even 2-2. With the red-hot Yasmani Tomas on deck.
I think it's the same issue again. It looks to me like Solano's just using first sign with the runner at second base.
You can almost see AJ trying to peek in there. That is a base hit into left field. Andy Green will stop Pollock at third. And they're on the corners with one out for Tomas.
A shift beater that time from David Peralta. We showed you Echeverria jockeying with A.J. Pollock out there at second base, and because he's so close to the bag, he can't retreat quickly enough to cut that one off. Gets through into the outfield.
Well, this is the guy you want up these days with men on base. Pollock at third, Peralta at first. One out. And here's Yasmani. He has grounded out in single, 1 for 2. 11 hits in his last 20 at bats. He's now just under 350 on the year. 4 straight multi-hit games coming in, and he's 1 base hit away from making it 5 in a row. Strike 1. Bullpen still busy, and the lefty was up earlier. Now it's Carter Capps, the righty. Oh, they got Peralta picked off. And here comes AJ, and he will score. He's in there. And Peralta sneaks into second after all. 4-0 Diamondbacks. Nothing is going Miami's way here tonight or in this series. They had Peralta an absolute dead duck halfway first to second. He's safe, and it's another Diamondback run.
Tremendous acceleration by A.J. Pollock. You see him creeping, just waiting for Morse to deliver that ball to the middle infielder. When he does, A.J. just outruns the throw to the plate, easily gets in underneath any tag there.
He was flying in from third. That's a stolen base for David Peralta, his second of the year. Tomas right to Gordon, and Peralta scampers back in time. Well, Bob, one of your Letterman-themed keys to the game on this final night of the David Letterman show was avoid the Albert Achievement Awards, the wild and wacky. And the Marlins just fell right into one right there.
Yeah.
Crack producer Dave Katz.
Well, you've heard me talk a lot over the last 3 years about times when a player or a team is just out of sync with the game. Always seems to be just a half a second behind everything, and that's what the Marlins look like tonight. New manager comes in, all the hoopla, all the TV stations and radio stations were here as Dan Jennings took over for Mike Redmond. And the ball club has gone out and laid an egg the last 2 nights, and looks like they're going to lay another dozen here tonight.
They've lost 5 straight and 12 of their last 16, and they have dropped into the NL East basement.
And this team was a lot of media darlings this spring. A lot of people were picking the Marlins to be certainly, if not a division winner, at least in competition for that one of the wild card spots with all the additions they made.
High expectations, and they opened up horribly. They got off to a 3-11 start. They're 7 back of the Mets and the Nationals right now. But from 3-11, they made a nice run. They actually got back to 500. They were 12-12. That was May 2nd. Since then, they've dropped 12 of 16. Center field, Ozuna runs it down. But the Diamondbacks get an absolute gift run. Peralta gets hung up, and watch Pollock fly home from third with the 4th Diamondback run. And they lead it 4-0 in Miami. Has faced the minimum. He has one walk. That runner eliminated by a double play ball. He's got one strikeout. He'll work to Prado, Yelich, and Morse 4, 5, and 6 in the Miami fifth. He's holding a 4-0 lead. They had a slight scoring change on that crazy play on which the Diamondbacks scored a run. They have now scored at a stolen base for A.J. Pollock, so he stole home there. And Peralta in at second on a fielder's choice. So give the stolen base to A.J. Take it away from David Peralta. Prado lined out to Tomas at third his first time. A.J. Pollock. This matchup of former Golden Domers so far. He and his former Notre Dame teammate, Pollock and David Phelps. Everything's gone A.J.'s way tonight. Chase Anderson has retired the last 7 he's faced. And Chase Anderson, more than continuing a theme that we talked about at the top of our broadcast. He's been really good. Look at these numbers last 3 starts. A .98 ERA. He's only given up 2 runs on 10 hits in his last 3 starts and just over 18 innings of work. Line to left. It's in front of Peralta, and that's a base hit, the first inning for the Marlins. Prado leads off the 5th with a single.
Have to want to nitpick Chase Anderson's last 3 starts to find anything negative, but if you were to nitpick, he still has a tendency at times to throw too many pitches. That has not been the case tonight. He's been very efficient, very economical with his pitches, and the Marlins have obliged swinging at a lot of early pitches.
11 of 13 first pitch strikes so far for Chase. He's been ahead in the count all night long, and actually, as I say that, he throws ball 1. There's Yelich, who walked his first time. Been the only other Marlins base runner tonight. There's a strike. Chase coming off another no decision. That was Friday when we were at Philadelphia. Wasn't quite as sharp with his command in that start. As Bob mentioned, the pitch count kind of bit him there. Went just 5 1/3, but only gave up 1 run on 3 hits. So far, his numbers tonight right there for you. Outstanding 2 starts previous to that. 7 innings of 5-hit ball against the Padres. That was at Chase Field. And maybe the best performance of his big league career, 6 innings of 2-hit ball at Dodger Stadium back on May the 3rd. That was that Sunday game. They lost in extras when Grandal hit the walk-off. Chase against LA that day, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. 2-2 now on Yelich.
I mentioned in the open of the show, in his 7 starts, 4 different times he left the ball game tied. One time, well, actually twice he was down in the ball game. Once 4-2 to the Rockies, once 1-0 to the Phillies his last start, and only one time this year has he been ahead. That was the start against the Padres back on the 9th. He was ahead 2-1 when he came out of the ball game.
And in all those instances, that's a great example of giving your team a chance to win. Every time he comes out of the game, it's basically a tie score. And it just hasn't gone his way yet once he's come out of the ball game to get that W. 0-1 in 7 starts with a 2.81 ERA. 3-2 to Yelich. In the air, headed for the left field corner. Peralta runs it down. Prado scampers back to the bag at first. 1 out here in the 5th. Brings up big Mike Morse. It's funny when you look at Michael Morse. I mean, you see, guy's a giant, 6'5", 245. But you might think of him as this big, lumbering, power-hitting, corner outfield first base type guy. He came up with the Mariners as a shortstop. Think about a shortstop that size. And as a rookie in Seattle, he started 50 games at shortstop. That was 2005, 10 years ago. Drives it to right. Inciarte is right there. 2 down.
talk about the lack of run support. He's received 4 runs already in the ball game tonight, which is as many as he got in his last 4 starts.
Danny Echeverria now with 2 outs. You throw in this terrific start so far for Chase. Don't forget about his 2 defensive gems. Fielding his position very well here tonight. That's in the seats and out of play. 0-1.
And an RBI ground out. He's done it all tonight. He needs to get on and steal a base. That's what he needs to do.
Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game here on Fox Sports Arizona. To Hopper, right to Ahmed at short. They go the short way for the force on Prano, and Chase Anderson erases that leadoff single through 5. He's got a 4-0 lead. On Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. And by the Bureau of Tobacco. Secondhand smoke makes everyone a smoker. See how you can live smoke-free at azsmokefreeliving.org. South Beach. Diamondbacks lead the Marlins 4-0 in this 3rd game of a 4-game set at Marlins Park. Steve Berthiaume, Jody Jackson, and Bob Brenly with you. New pitcher for the Marlins here as we open up the 6th inning. Just recalled from AAA New Orleans yesterday, it's the right-hander Carter Capps. This is his 2nd stint with the Marlins this year. He has pitched 1 game in the big league so far this season. 13 games in New Orleans. You see the numbers there. 0-2, a 1.80 ERA.
Pretty lofty walk total, 10 base on balls in 15 innings of work. Big fastball for Carter Capps. Average speed at 97.5. 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider, and a very odd delivery. You'll see him kind of leap off of that rubber as Justin Bohr also takes over at first base, part of a double switch.
So if he goes a wish, leads off the 6th. Duffy is grounded out and reached on an error by Prado at 3rd. Duffy has a pair of hits in the series. He's hit safely in 3 straight, 6 of 7. A look at Carter Capps.
Watch him leap off of that rubber.
Looks like Jordan Walden.
Yeah.
Fires that in there at 96. 2-1. Tuffy having a very nice month at the plate here in May. He hit under a $180 in April, so there was a bit of a hole from which to dig his way out of to start the year, but he's over 300 in May so far. And sure enough, right on cue, he knocks it into right. So Tuffy's hit in 4 straight. Once again, the Diamondbacks have a leadoff man aboard.
Pitch belt high over the middle of the plate, and Tuffy just drives it through that right side. This is where, as a manager, you can really start pushing some buttons if you would like. You've got a 4-run lead in the ball game. You got the leadoff man on. Nick Ahmed already has a double and an RBI in this ball game. You got the pitcher spot rolling up after that.
Well, what are you thinking? What are the possibilities?
Well, I'm a big fan of the hit and run at any time. I don't care who's on deck. I think of the hit and run as an offensive weapon rather than a defensive weapon. So many managers use it only to stay out of a double play. I prefer to think of it as an offensive weapon. If you start the runner and the batter happens to find a hole, you've got runners on the corners. Now it creates a possible squeeze situation with the pitcher at the plate, a safety squeeze if you just want to bunt the runner from first to second. A lot of different possibilities.
This guy's throwing all fastballs. He's behind in the count. We know Nick Ahmed's bat has perked up lately. He's hit now safely in 6 straight games. Tuffy holds, and that one's in there for a strike. Another 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, the point being that when you have a lead in a game, as Caps gets the benefit of the doubt on a borderline pitch there. When you have a lead, you can be a little more aggressive. When you're trying to come back in a ball game, you don't want to run into any outs on the bases. You don't want to take any unnecessary chances that might run you out of an inning. But when you have a 4-run lead, that's the time to put your foot on the gas.
Nick, an RBI double, a run scored, and a stolen base back in the second. He lined out to Gordon on a spectacular play his last time up, so he should have 2 hits already tonight. D. Gordon just made a Superman leap to take the base hit away. 3-1. Brett Butler. Jose Fernandez covering from Tommy John. Expect him back at some point this summer. This is D. Gordon in Nick Ahmed's last at bat in the 4th. Watch this play. Wow. Just a rifle shot into right center. I was headed for the gap, but Gordon snared it. 3-2 to Nick Ahmed. There goes Tuffy. Ahmed strikes out, and Gozawish is in there. A stolen base for Tuffy. That's his 2nd this year. Those catchers, man, they can run. Come on, I gave that to you on a tee.
Okay, you're right. It helped that the throw was a little bit offline, giving Tuffy a lane to slide into the bag out there at second, but now he's in scoring position for Chase Anderson,
who had an RBI ground out back in the 2nd, struck out looking his last time up, and he shows bunt here with 1 out. Bohr will come in from first. Echeverria sneaking in behind the runner at 2nd. And a good bunt there by Chase. Caps has 1 play. And Tuffy moves up to 3rd with 2 down. Ender Inciarte 0 for 3 so far. Struck out, grounded out, flied out. Trying to get another surprise bunt. RBI single with 2 outs. Nick Ahmed had one last night, but that one rolls foul. Boy, Martin Prado, after the series, he's going to have nightmares. He's going to wake up in the middle of the night screaming. Seeing bunts coming at him with a runner on 3rd. Keep going to that well.
Prado kind of baited Ender Inciarte that time. He was playing way behind the bag at 3rd, but as Caps went into his delivery, he came charging in 3 or 4 steps, was ready to field a possible bunt.
Ender got all tied up there. Dan Bellino says yes, he went.
Yeah, this was the first pitch. You see Prado playing back, and then comes creeping in as Caps gets ready to deliver the ball in more of a defensive position for the bunt.
0-2. 97 blew it right by him, and Caps strands that leadoff single. 4 chin-ups for Chase. He leads it 4-0.
he doesn't get rattled. He's really good at keeping even keel and keeping his cool. He's a clean freak, so when things aren't quite as clean as maybe they should be in his book, that'll rattle him a little bit, but not very much.
I was the third wheel on a little beach walk with Chase and Anna Anderson, and Anna there talking about the only thing she could think of that kind of gets to Chase. Like she said, he's a clean freak, and it seems like sand in the room might have been a problem. But guys, the chin-ups and just how methodical Chase is in his preparation, I guess it really doesn't surprise me. Clean kind of goes along with that, right?
Whatever he's doing, don't change it.
Don't stop now.
He has been tremendous here tonight. He's allowed only 2 base runners, a walk to Yelich in the second, a single by Prado to lead off the 5th, and now Jonathan Solano, the catcher, leads off the Marlins 6th and lines it right to Aaron Hill. Quickly one down. Take a look at our T-Mobile game-changing players. The starting pitchers for the Diamondbacks so far in this series: De La Rosa, Hellickson, and now Anderson. How about this? 20 1/3. They've given up only 4 earned, 2 walks. That's getting it done. And the Marlins, the offense has vanished. They have scored in only 2 of their 27 innings in this series so far. In fact, if you go back to Sunday, when they were almost no hit by Shelby Miller of the Braves, they have scored in 2 of the last 36 innings. Here's Justin Bour, the first baseman, took over for Michael Morse in a double switch. Jeremy's best start as a Diamondback last night. Chase behind here, 2-0. Bour, another guy who started out in the minors and was recently called up. He's only had 30 at-bats this year, but he's hitting .400. Had a pinch hit appearance in last night's game. He was 1 for 5 when he got the start Monday, and a single and scored a run. That's in there for a strike, and Chase is back even, 2-2. This is over the roof and in the seats. Bour came in as part of the double switch. He is hitting in the 9th spot, so Dee Gordon, the leadoff man, is up next. Pitcher spot now 6th in the Miami order. Drives it deep to left center field. David Peralta near the wall, and he can't get it. It bounces in front of the Clevelander, and Bour is in at second. Well hit to the opposite field by big Justin Bour. Just the second hit tonight for the Marlins. David looks like he got the wrong end of that wall.
Well, it was hit a little harder, I think, than David realized. Bour got the barrel on it, got some backspin on that ball to the opposite field. Kind of ran a banana route that time, was able to get leather on it, but just couldn't quite make the catch right in front of the Clevelander out there in deep left field.
And it hit that wall pretty hard here. Looks like he got the padded part of it up against that chain link fence, but the Marlins have a runner at second. For Dee Gordon, the big league's leading hitter. Tomas in at third, Goldie at first. Ball 1. Chase fell behind Bour. Now he's behind on Gordon. So far, Gordon 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. Once right back to the mound, a play on which Anderson made a terrific play to throw him out. Bounce to second. Aaron Hill has it. Bour moves up, 2 down. Marcell Ozuna now. Ozuna 0 for 2.
Big out to get right here. We know who's on deck behind Ozuna.
This is the guy to get right here.
Absolutely.
Two down, Board third. Stanton on deck. Center field. Here comes AJ, and he's under it. Ozuna chases the first pitch, and Anderson wiggles off the hook. So far, through 6, he's working on a 2-hit shutout. Fans, your chance to beat the Heat. Tonight's word is Billy. Log on to foxsportsarizona.com/beattheheat. Enter Billy for your chance to win a trip to San Diego for the 4th of July weekend. Throughout May, we'll give you a word of the day every game. When you see it, go to foxsportsarizona.com/beattheheat. Enter that word. The more times you enter, the better your chances. All the info you need is at foxsportsarizona.com. The password is Billy. Billy, 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 Billy. Carter Capps back out there for the 7th, and A.J. Pollock steps in to lead it off. A.J. has singled and walked. He scored twice and was credited with a stolen base when he came in from third to score the 4th Diamondback run after David Peralta got himself caught up in a rundown halfway between first and second. And that worked out in the Diamondbacks' favor as Peralta was safe at second and Pollock scored. Now we saw Billy running in the. They have a thing here. I mean, sometimes you overthink things. Now you would think the Marlins, if they wanted to have a mascot race, you have 4 characters. You'd have a flamingo, a shark, a dolphin, something, a fish, killer whale if you want, whatever. Base hit for Pollock, but they have these sea creatures. AJ aboard for the 3rd time tonight. And as American Pharaoh goes for the Triple Crown soon at the Belmont, Julio the Octopus throughout this series has achieved a mascot Triple Crown. He's won all 3 races so far this week.
Defying the odds. I know you like to call it the amoeba race. I prefer the bacteria race. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's like a giant petri dish is racing itself out there. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. He has singled and walked. There goes AJ. The foot still on the gas for the Diamondbacks, and he swipes second easily on that one. His 2nd stolen base tonight, his 8th of the year. They've been doing this all night long.
Solano behind the plate is rumored to have a really strong throwing arm, but his pitching staff has not given him any chance whatsoever. Another great jump over there at first. AJ with his tremendous speed. And a nice slide into second. He wasn't rolling around and doing cartwheels and ending up off the bag.
Well, it's the 7th inning. We just started the 7th inning, and the Diamondbacks as a team have already stolen 5 bases tonight. That's a season high. One and 0 to Goldie. Goldie, a quiet road trip, 4 for 22. There's a strike. We're told now the count is 0-2. They just changed it on the scoreboard. We'll change it for you in the truck. That's in the seats. Boy, Caps throws hard. You know, the Marlins have been struggling here. This guy had a 1.80 ERA in New Orleans at AAA. Coming up here throwing 96, 98, jumping off the pitching rubber. They needed a right-hander last night. This guy would have been a good choice. There goes AJ again. Goldie swings and misses. He strikes out. And Pollock is in at third. Solano dropped the ball there. It didn't appear to be a foul tip, so it's a strikeout for Goldschmidt and another stolen base for AJ, his third tonight and the 6th in the game tonight for the Diamondbacks. Yeah, Solano just dropped it.
Yeah, I think he took his eye off the pitch to see where AJ was. He had no chance that time. Once again, AJ was off and running. Cap's a big, tall guy. He's got that very unorthodox leap off of the rubber, and boy, AJ just got tremendous jumps against him.
Infield in, Peralta belts it to center. Ozuna's there. Here comes Pollock, and he is in there. 5-0 Diamondbacks. Sometimes you got to live Tomas, and it's tacos for everybody. AJ has scored 3 times tonight.
Boy, just pure speed on the part of A.J. Pollock. That ball was hit hard into center field, and Ozuna caught it with all his momentum going toward home plate. Still ran right in his face and scored easily.
He's got a big arm, Ozuna, too. He can really throw out there. So a run in, 2 outs, Tomas.
Ozuna coming straight in, fields the ball, unleashes a strong throw to home plate, and it's not even close.
Yeah, Osmani is single in the 3rd. He is 1 for 3. Oh, 2. Diamondbacks lead it 5-0. Chase Anderson, through 6 innings so far, has given up only 2 hits. He's walked 1. He's got 1 strikeout. And he's only thrown in the ball game so far 71 pitches. Caps bounces that one 1-2. And as Jody Jackson told us at the start of our broadcast, Enrique Burgos is not available after getting his first 2 career major league saves in the first 2 games of the series. So Brad Ziegler is the closer tonight. But hopefully with a 5-0 lead, it doesn't become a closer situation.
Yeah, this could be a possible tune-up, another tune-up for Addison Reed tonight if the Diamondbacks continue to hold this lead.
Tomas strikes out, 4th strikeout for Caps. Diamondbacks add a run. They lead it 5-0. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Giancarlo leads it off for the Marlins. It's off the 7th against Chase Anderson, who so far has given up only 2 hits and thrown 71 pitches. Stanton 0 for 2. He struck out his last time. Shift is on again for the Diamondbacks. 3 infielders on the left-hand side. And things are just not going Miami's way. They keep getting worse and worse, in fact. Last time that happened was at the start of the season. They were 3-11. Ahmed, long throw. Got it. You know, when they were 3-11 out of the gate, it was Stanton who spoke up. He made some pretty frank comments when things got really bad. He said the fire's not there. He said when you're out there and it's game time, there's just nothing there, it seems like. He said the Marlins weren't really giving themselves a chance to win. Now, they finally did turn that around, but he was pretty candid. And he said, you know, there's no campfire to sit around and reminisce. We got to play every night. We need to pick it up. And it might be time for another Giancarlo speech, the way things are going here. Prado now. I mean, when you've got the biggest contract in the history of North American sports, from time to time you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, we've heard all, the talk about, well, he leads by example. That's all well and good, but when things need to be said, you'd like it to be your superstar caliber, highest paid player in the world to be the guy to stand up.
Bounced off the glove, it looked like, of Anderson, but right to Aaron Hill. Boy, Chase Anderson is rolling along here. Yeah, Stanton, a 13-year contract for $325 million. The biggest contract in North American sports history. I mean, that's like a soccer contract that you get in Europe for some of those guys. But the interesting part about Stanton's deal, it's backloaded. He can opt out after the 2020 season. The dollar value before the opt-out is $107 million. But if he does walk away, he walks away from another $218 million. So it's not much of an opt-out. I don't know what the numbers are going to look like in 2020, but I would imagine that's going to be a lot of money. 0-2 now on Yelich.
Just reminiscing about one of my minor league contracts with the San Francisco Giants.
Did you get $325?
No, way less than that. I actually tried to get an extra $50, and I lied to our farm director. I said my wife was pregnant. I need the extra money. He said, sorry, hang with him. That's your fault. And it wasn't a 13-year contract.
There was no opt-out.
No. Well, I could opt out anytime I wanted.
Or they could, sure. Dan Jennings is part of the front office that gave Giancarlo Stanton all that money. He's the general manager, and as of Monday, the manager. So far, it's not going all that well. There's called strike 3. A 1-2-3 7th for Chase Anderson. That's just his second strikeout, but he's working on a 2-hit shutout through 7, and he's got a 5-0 lead. Cool plays of the game. Diamondbacks, Bob, running wild on the bases tonight.
I'm telling you, here comes the rabbit. Going crazy. Even Tuffy Gosowich stealing a base on a broken hit and run. It appeared to be a broken hit and run, but slides to the outside of the bag there at second, beats the tag. AJ's just been running crazy tonight, getting tremendous jumps.
He's got 3 stolen bases, AJ Pollock. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning, cool plays of the game. And you know, Bob, I've been thinking, if you're here and I'm here, isn't this our time? Having some pizza, learning about England. Brad Hand, Mr. Hand is on, the left-hander from the Marlins bullpen. No one under the age of 50 got that joke, but that's okay.
Pizza guy. Right here, dude.
Fast times at Ridgemont High, Mr. Hand. Ray Walston was Mr. Hand.
Yeah.
Was also My Favorite Martian.
Yes, indeed.
Another reference that no one under, well, 70 will get. Aaron Hill walked, stole a base, scored a run in the second. He's 0 for 2. Bill Bixby was in that show, too. He was what was it, the nephew? They pretended he was the nephew. Yeah, he was Uncle Martin. They hid the spaceship in the garage. Who would find it?
It was probably the same set they used for Mr. Ed. You know, the horse was in the garage, and they moved him along and put the spaceship in there.
You can Google it.
Take a look at this day in Major League Baseball history, brought to you by Geico. I had to look at this one twice today, make sure I read it right. The Indians and Brewers game was rained out on this day in 1985, the first rain out of the year. 485 consecutive big league games played at the start of the season without one single game being canceled because of weather.
Well, you know why? The Rockies weren't a team yet.
There you go. Rockies baseball, the tarp is on the field.
I don't know, how do they ever get games in here before they had the roof in the football stadium? I mean, we've had beautiful weather here this week, but most of the time it rains every day.
It seems like it always rains, you know, late afternoon, but clears up by game time. I've talked about it before. We never took batting practice on the field over at the old stadium. You were always in the cage because you knew it was going to rain around 4:30 every afternoon.
But now they have this beautiful facility here in downtown Miami near the site of the old Orange Bowl. Remember the Orange Bowl? They had like a dolphin tank in the end zone. Dolphin would do tricks behind the goalposts.
It might have been the dolphin that Jody was swimming with earlier.
Jody had quite a trip here.
Yes,
she was walking on the beach. She was training dolphins. It's a good gig. We'll tap her in the hole. Prado in front of Echeverria throws him out. Now this was Jody. Was this today, guys? Yesterday? This was this afternoon. There's Jody riding a dolphin.
How about that?
That looks like fun.
Well, this is a return home for Jody. I mean, she loves this trip.
Literally like a fish in the water. Jody, what was that like?
You know, I'm just trying to be in the water as much as possible before we head back to the desert. You know, guys, I told you when I did the kayaking, of course, you know, like, no, it was a lot of fun. Miami's Aquarium, fun to visit. And I had never done that, though, even being from here. And a lot of people enjoy doing that, whether they do it in the Keys or here in South Florida. So
now,
highly recommend.
Is that the place we drive by on the bus ride over from the hotel?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's close to the hotel. So, you know, 10 minutes.
BBC, you could have done that.
Go over there, a fishing pole.
It was shallow, Bob. It was shallow, you know.
You can see the land.
That's right.
That's your criteria, right?
Yeah. Not only see it, but be able to get to it quickly.
Need access. Tuffy singled and stole the bases last time, huh? We had a My Favorite Martian reference and now a Flipper reference.
Mr. Ed, Flipper.
Time to shake hands with the porpoise.
How about that?
Well, as a thank you to the fans, it's time for the Fox Sports Arizona and D-backs fan appreciation ticket offer, guys. Be sure to watch this Saturday's game against the Cubs, starting at 6:30 for a special ticket offer that will be available only during the broadcast. So you got to watch the game, and it's a window here. You got to jump on this, but during the broadcast on Saturday, we're going to make as a appreciation, as a shout out to the Diamondback fans of D-back Nation, a special ticket offer available only during the game. So stay tuned for that on Saturday against the Cubs. Tuffy hanging in there, still 1-2 against Mr. Hand.
You want to be at the ballpark, or at least watching on Saturday night. Ruby De La Rosa taking the ball for the D-backs again on Saturday.
Woo! Boy, he was electric here Monday. He was tremendous. Yeah, we got Josh Colmenter going Friday against the Cubbies. Ruby on Saturday. And Jeremy Hellickson, who was so good here last night, he pitches Sunday. Then we're right back on the plane. We're home for like 2.5 days.
Just enough time to do laundry and repack.
That's right. Head to St. Louis for 3, then Milwaukee for 3. Tuffy strikes out. 2 down in the 8th. I know you'll be packing the fishing gear, because I know you got a secret spot where you like to go and take all the bass out of there. Is it bass?
Yeah.
Last time I caught like 40 in about 10 minutes. We won't say where the spot is. It's
well, there are assorted spots. The key is the guy that takes us to the spots has access to all these farm ponds and little lakes, and he knows where they're biting and where they're not biting and what they're biting on. It's great. And he's got a boat. Yeah, it's funny how the fraternity in baseball works. I actually met this gentleman through John Mabry, longtime big league player. I believe he's a hitting coach in St. Louis. And John Mabry introduced me to him, and I subsequently introduced him to another guy, and he met another guy, and he met another. So now every time a team comes into St. Louis, John Casey's busy. He's got to pick guys up at the hotel, take them to the lake, clean the fish.
He's got a whole business going.
Oh, man.
2-1 on Nick Ahmed. Nick had an RBI double and scored a run back in the 2nd. So he's hit safely in 6 straight. You could just drop a line in the tank. They'd probably get mad. But
probably get arrested.
Nick Ahmed drops it into center, a base hit. And Nick Ahmed now in his last 6 games has 9 hits. 2 for 4 tonight.
Well, you know, we've talked a lot about Yasmani Tomas and how it finally seems like he's settled in and he's just playing baseball. He's not thinking anymore. And I think the same could possibly be said for Nick Ahmed. They've been working so hard on his swing. Hands up, hands down, closed stance, open stance, just trying everything they possibly can to find something that works for Nick. And I think he just finally got to the point, keep it simple, see ball, hit ball.
And don't forget he had that play in the 4th inning, too, where he hit an absolute rifle shot to the gap in right center field that Gordon snagged for an out. Otherwise, he'd have 3 hits tonight. Chase Anderson with a 2-hit shutout in progress. He's only thrown, let's see, 81 pitches. Will hit for himself in the 8th inning. Bullpen quiet for the Diamondbacks. Well, quiet. It's next to the Clevelander. I should say there's no one warming up in the bullpen. It's not quiet.
Disco lights flashing around.
This is rolled up the first base line and foul. We had a shot of the Clevelander last night with a lifeguard drinking a mojito wearing 6-inch heels. You don't often see that. Apparently she's not on duty tonight, so I don't know who's watching. Oh, she was sitting right there, so I don't know who's watching the swimmers. There is a pool back there, among a few other things. Our producer Bill Cochran points out, BB, that we're not doing the game tomorrow on TV, so we will be free to wander over there.
The production meeting out there at the Cleveland.
We'll see how productive it is. 1-2. Can you keep it down? We're trying to have a meeting over here. Dan Jennings looking for his first win as the Marlins skipper. 0 for 2 so far. And headed for 0 for 3. Well, a big day here in Miami for Jody Jackson. A walk on the beach. And a kiss from the Dolphin. Diamondbacks 5-0. Game summary, several storylines here for the Diamondbacks. They got Chase Anderson an early 3-0 lead, and he has made it stand so far. 7 innings of 2-hit ball. He's out there for the 8th inning. That'll be a career high in innings pitched, and he's had some good defense behind him.
And he's needed his defense tonight. Chase Anderson, normally a dead fly ball pitcher, has gotten 12 ground ball outs tonight, only 4 fly outs, 3 line drives at his defenders, and 2 strikeouts in the game tonight.
Pitcher spot is 6th in the Miami order after the double switch, so that leads off the 8th inning, and Donovan Solano will take the at bat. He'll hit for hand. Solano just 4 for 23 at the plate this year. This is quite a night for Chase Anderson. Going to make some headlines with his start. Working on a 2-hit shutout. He has walked only 1. He struck out just 2. Very efficient, just like that, right to Aaron Hill. Well, he's 5 outs away. This has always been a guy who's been under the radar. And Chase says he has had to earn everything he's gotten in this game so far, his whole life, really. He was a very successful high school pitcher in Texas. As a senior, he was 12-1 with 3 no-hitters. And set a school record with 291 strikeouts. Here's a Danny Echeverria 0 for 2. But as a senior, Chase he was a little guy. He was 5'11", 140, and so the scouts kind of went, eh. It was a 42nd round pick by the Minnesota Twins, who didn't offer him any money. Didn't really get a Division I scholarship that could help much. Rolled to shortstop, Nick Ahmed. So he went to junior college. That was his best offer. Wound up at Oklahoma, where he was mainly a relief pitcher. And again, wasn't a big-time draft choice. Diamondbacks got him in the 9th round. But he says competing for a spot every year, and he's had to do that, just keeps you hungry. And growing up in Texas, he always admired Nolan Ryan when he was a kid. Although he doesn't have Nolan Ryan's build, he does share that same, he believes, competitive mentality. because, as he often says, Chase, pitching is between the ears, and he has pitched a beauty here tonight. Diamondback Live post-game show right after the ball game. Tomas snares it. That's the out. A 7-pitch 8th inning for Chase Anderson, who's got a 2-hit shutout in the works as we head to the 9th in Miami. Lead Miami 5-0 as we start the 9th. Hey fans, enter right now for your chance to win a trip to the MLB All-Star Game on Fox in Cincinnati for you and 3 of your friends. Just upload 2 photos of you at foxsports.com/fantasticallstar now through June the 3rd. A beautiful night here in South Florida, Marlins Park, and Chase Anderson has pitched 8 full innings for the first time in his big league career, and he's given up only 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He's retired the last 8 Marlins he's faced, and he is 3 outs away from a 2-hit shutout. New pitcher for the Marlins, the right-hander Brian Morris. We saw him pitch in last night's ball game. Came in a couple of batters too late. That was one of the storylines, but threw 12 pitches last night. And he's back out there to work the 9th. Then Ciarte leads it off.
Came in after the damage had been done. Promptly got a double play ball to get out of that 8th inning, and then gave up a leadoff single in the 9th, but stranded that runner.
Ciarte 0 for 4. He has struck out twice. Smashes that one to center, but Ozuna's there. 1 away. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. You can watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. You'll get real-time highlights, live look-ins, a pitch tracking widget, and more. Blackout rules do apply, so visit MLB.TV for all the details. 1 down for A.J. Pollock, who's had himself quite a night. Strike 1 from Morris. A.J. singled and scored in the first. Flied out to center in the 3rd. Walked and scored in the 5th. He was credited with a steal of home. Singled and scored in the 7th when he stole 2 bases. So he's got 3 stolen bases in the ball game tonight, and now 9 for the year. The Diamondbacks as a team have stolen 6 bases tonight. The team record is 7, set back in 2000. AJ has 3 stolen bases. Diamondbacks record is 4. That's been done twice. Tony Womack and Mark Reynolds. Chase Anderson is right now at 88 pitches. He's been tremendously efficient tonight. 88 pitches, 61 strikes. And the Marlins in the 9th will have Bohr, Gordon, and Ozuna. Stanton would be in the hole. Drops that one into right field. It's another base hit for A.J. Pollock. Takes a big turn and holds up there with his 3rd hit tonight. He's been on base 4 times.
Very reminiscent of his first base hit in the ball game against a former teammate at Notre Dame when he just flicked it out there to right field.
Well, let me ask you a couple of questions here, BB. It's 5-0 9th inning. It's not like it's 15-0. He's got 3 stolen bases already. He's been running wild all night. The Diamondbacks record is 4. They've stolen 6. The team record is 7. Would it be totally out of line to run him here?
I don't think so. I mean, there's different criterion for the unwritten rules of baseball. Some people say if you're up by more than 5 runs after the 5th inning, you should shut down the running game. But this Marlins team has some thump in the lineup, some guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I think all bets are off here. If you get a jump, take it.
He has stolen 2nd, 3rd, and home tonight. The steal of home came when David Peralta was on 1st. A.J. was on 3rd. David got himself kind of hung up there. They had him out for sure, a dead duck, and A.J., when he saw that, took off, came in and scored. Peralta snuck in at 2nd. They initially ruled it a stolen base for Peralta. They changed that, made it a fielder's choice for Peralta. That was back in the 5th inning, and awarded Pollock a steal of home. 0-2 to Goldie. A.J. holds it first. Swing and bunt back to the mound. Morris is on it, and he throws him out. 2 down. Pollock at 2nd, 2 outs, and here is Peralta, who's got 2 RBIs tonight. David had an RBI ground out in the 1st and a sacrifice fly in the 7th. So a productive night for the cleanup hitter tonight.
We got in several brawls in my playing days with the St. Louis Cardinals under Whitey Herzog back when they had that track team. Everybody in the lineup could steal a base, and they stole a few bases with a big lead one night. And Roger Craig, my manager, and Whitey Herzog actually end up toe-to-toe at home plate. Whitey says, if you tell me you'll stop trying to score runs, we'll stop running. Well, that pretty much put it into perspective right there.
Boy, that team on that hard turf at Old Busch Stadium, that was like a track meet. Bounced over the mound. It rolls into center field. Andy Green will wave Pollock home. He will score, and it's 6-0 Diamondbacks. 3rd RBI tonight for David Peralta.
And 4th run scored for A.J. Pollock.
A.J. has been on base 4 times tonight, 3 singles and a walk, and he scored all 4 times.
You may remember back in the 5th inning with David at the plate. They had the shift on, and he hit it in the hole between 3rd and short for a base hit, and this time he scoots it over on the other side of the bag and sneaks it through for a base hit.
6-0 Peralta at first. Bohr will play behind the runner with 2 outs, and here's Tomas. Look out. Morris tries to make a kick save, and he has no play. Tomas is aboard. A base hit for Yasmani Tomas will make that now 5 straight multi-hit games for Tomas. He's singled in the 3rd. He's got a single here in the 9th.
Big break that ball hit the pitcher. I believe one of the middle infielders probably would have gotten to that ball up the middle of the field, but when Morris kicks it over toward 3rd base, that's an easy infield hit for Yasmani Tomas.
Tomas 2 for 5. Aaron Hill looks at strike 1. 3 hits and a run in this inning for the Diamondbacks. 6-0 now. They have out-hit the Marlins 11-2. And no one is throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Chase Anderson's previous high in a ball game was 7 innings pitched. He's done that 4 times. He's gone 8 tonight so far. And remember here Monday, Ruby De La Rosa, when he was so good, went the distance, pitched all 9 innings. His previous high was 7. Diamondbacks won that game in extras. Prado at third. He'll get the force on Peralta. And here comes Chase Anderson. 3 outs away from a 2-hit shutout in Miami. That was the Cox Gig Life high-speed highlights, and Chase Anderson living large right now, 3 outs away from his first major league shutout. Bottom 9 in Miami. Diamondbacks have a 6-0 lead, and Justin Bour leads it off for the Marlins. He doubled his last time up. Chase right now at 89 pitches. Bullpen is quiet. Roll to second, tough play, and Aaron Hill can't get there. It rolls into center. That's just the 3rd hit tonight for the Marlins, and Bour has 2 of them. Ends a stretch of 8 straight retired by Chase.
And Bour didn't even start the ball game. He came in the 6th as part of a double switch. He's got a double and a single. This one just a seeing eye ground ball back up the middle of the field. Nice effort by Aaron Hill. Just can't quite get there.
Well, Chase Anderson winless in 7 starts this year. He's pitched to a 2.81 ERA. Brad Ziegler was the closer tonight. Will start loosely throwing in the Diamondback bullpen, with Chase right now at 90 pitches, 63 for strikes, trying to get that first win and get it in style here with a shutout. D. Gordon, the big league's leading hitter, hitless tonight. Tomas in on the grass at third, Goldie holding Bour on the bag at first. Now he'll play in front of the runner. 1-1.
Really aggressive.
Diamondbacks have done a tremendous job on D. Gordon in this series. He was 0 for 5 Monday, 1 for 4 with a single last night, 0 for 3 tonight. A ball and 2 strikes.
I don't know about you, partner. We've been here for 3 days, and I still have trouble finding information on this board. There's so many numbers, so many things to look at. By the time I look up there, they've changed it, and I got to look somewhere else.
Yeah, do you really need 100 D. Gordon heads behind the big one? That's, man, it's like a Where's Waldo deal. Well, everything in Miami is vibrant.
Yes.
That's what we're told anyway. Yeah, that's really vibrant.
Yes.
Nude fish descending staircase number 2. Famous painting. 1-2 to Gordon. It hit him. And the first 2 have reached in the 9th against Chase Anderson.
much of an effort by D. Gordon to get out of the way. If anything, he left that elbow with the guard on out there. Just deflected that ball over on the third base side and takes his base.
Well, now you're getting into the thick of things here. Ozuna and Stanton behind him. You can see how efficient Chase Anderson has been tonight. 8 scoreless innings so far, but the first 2 have reached in the 9th. Bohr at second, Gordon at first. And here's Marcell Ozuna 0 for 3. Marlins 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position in this series. And they have a runner at second base for only the second time of the ball game. Trouble looms. Ozuna so far hitless in the series. In the seats, 2-1. No TV for you tomorrow. It's a noon start here local time, 9 a.m. back home in the great state of Arizona. So radio only. It's up to the Government Candy, Archie Bradley and Matt Latos. And then it's on an airplane back home for 3 against the Cubs, then right back out on the road, trips to St. Louis and Milwaukee. Two-1 is swung on. He knocks it into left, a base hit. They're going to stop Bohr at third, and the Marlins have the bases loaded with no outs. And it looks like that's going to be it for Chase Anderson, who pitched a brilliant ball game here tonight. He was outstanding, and that is it. Here comes Brad Ziegler. It's a shame he couldn't get the shutout, but let's not let it take away from what we saw here tonight, Bob, from Chase Anderson. He was tremendous.
He really was. The one thing that has kind of haunted Chase Anderson in his time in the major league level is throwing too many pitches. Tonight, that was not the case.
So Chase exits. He is responsible for 3 base runners. Bases loaded, no outs, bottom 9. Brad Ziegler on the way in at 6-0 Diamondbacks. Chase Anderson leads the ball game in the 9th inning. Diamondbacks lead 6-0, and Brad Ziegler steps into a situation in which no pitcher wants to find himself. Bases loaded, no outs for Giancarlo Stanton. He is 0 for 3. One pitch, a little roller. Ahmed, Hill, Goldie. They roll. No, they don't get the double play. Stanton beats it out. Bohr scores from third, and it's a 6-1 ball game. We'll see if the Diamondbacks want to challenge that. And I think they missed the call there.
Yeah,
Tom Halley
right.
and the crew chief at first.
Yeah, Goldie rarely says anything one way or the other, but he quickly pointed into the dugout and asked the bench to appeal that one.
You can actually, we always talk about that. It's an out when the ball is in the back of the mitt. You can see through that little hole in the webbing. You can see the baseball in there, and the Diamondbacks will challenge the call. And you're trying at this point with the bases full to get every out you can, so no reason not to challenge this. The run will score regardless. And the replay is underway. It's another replay review brought to you by Mix One. It's going to be a 6-1 ball game. Gordon will be the runner at third. The question is, did they get one out or two? Here's a look.
You see the white of the ball through the webbing of Goldie's glove before Stanton gets the foot down on the bag at first.
Well, the Marlins, with the run on the board, have now scored in only 3 of 31 innings in this series. Headsets are coming off. He is out at first. It's a double play. So Brad Ziegler comes in, bases loaded, no outs. Giancarlo Stanton throws one pitch and gets a double play ball. So an updated look at our replay review results brought to you by Mix One. 7 calls overturned. Gordon at third now in a 6-1 ball game. 2 outs for Martin Prado. Here's the strike. Diamondbacks will be in position tomorrow afternoon to get the 4-game sweep. And after the way things went in Philadelphia, getting swept at Citizens Bank, coming down here and winning 4. Talk about a game changer. Last time the D-backs swept a 4-game series on the road, 2007 at Washington. If the Marlins drop this one, it'll be 7 straight losses here at home. They haven't done that since August of 2011. 1-2. Things are not going Dan Jennings' way. They will have lost 6 in a row and 13 of their last 17. Center field, A.J. Pollock has it, and Chase Anderson has his first win this season. He pitched a beauty here tonight, and the Diamondbacks beat the Marlins 6-1. They'll go for the 4-game sweep here tomorrow afternoon.
Boy, really good to see the way the starting rotation has settled in this series here against the Marlins. Ruby De La Rosa, the first game out. Jeremy Hellickson looked really good as he's looked all year last night, and Chase Anderson with another gem here tonight.
Diamondbacks have not won more than 3 games in a row since July of 2013. They haven't swept a 4-game series on the road since 2007. They're now in position to do both those things here tomorrow afternoon with Archie Bradley.